I am turning on my computer here so that we can record on YouTube. And for those of you who are new and tuning in, we are giving away a zero installation purifier. What does that mean? Later on at the end of the show, we'll talk more about this, but all I'm saying is there's some instructions on my website, on my Facebook page at Lillian's Radio Show. And if you want to win a zero installation water purifier, which by the way, Dr. Klaper has no affiliation with or endorses. He is a part of this water fast, and so that we can cleanse our body and heal. And so I just want to say, fasten your seatbelt because we are going to learn and grow together. So Dr. Klaper, they're going to mute our mics and then we're going to start dancing. How about that?
Sounds good.
Okay.
The Lillian McDermott Show.
We love, we fear, bridges we burn, we make mistakes, then we live and learn. When life gets tough, and it seems like your best ain't good enough. If you're in need of hope, you know where I'll be right here, right here. And when you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here, waiting for you.
This is the place you can always turn to when you need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And for those of you who have been tuning into this radio show / classroom since 2011, or maybe you just stumbled upon the show for the first time yesterday, welcome back. I'm glad that you are with us. But if this is the first time that you got a message saying you want a free gift today, or you want to listen to the best teacher on water fasting, then tune into the show. If this is the first time that you stumbled upon us, then just know I've been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. And it is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal. And it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friends, Facebook Live at Lillian's Radio Show, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Now, today, I want you to make sure, and Ashley, if you can do this for me, because my computer system is like really freaky out today, I would love for you to write the phone number. So there's different ways that you can win a water purifying system today. And you could call, you can instant message, you can send me a private message, but it's 407-373-5959, and we'll tell you more towards the end of the show. And as we start going, just know that you're going to want to be a part of this. So start doing what needs to happen. It's already on the Facebook Live page. The instructions are there. Read them, do it, and win it. Okay, so today we have been waiting since last year for Dr. Michael Klaper to come back on the show to guide us, to guide me on my 5-day cleanse. Now, I'm saying 5 days because I didn't want to stop at 3. Everything I read is like, the 4th day, that's the miracle day, or maybe the 5th day, and some people don't want to go back to eating. Well, I don't know, but I'm going to start with 1 day at a time, and we're going to do 1 day at a time for 5 days, and anyone who wants to join me needs to tell me that you want to join me, and then we'll have like a little private group so we can just rejoice together. How does that sound? So if you send me an email at lily@whenyouneedafriend.com, we can start doing this group. Dr. Klaper is going to supervise me, and then we can discuss together how we're feeling. We'll form a little group. And so that you know, Dr. Klaper has been teaching his patients and other doctors how to achieve nutritional excellence through food, plant-based food, and how to heal patients and how to heal your body with food, nutritional food. And so last time he was on the show, we were talking about water fasting. And by the way, we gave away these wonderful DVDs from Dr. Klaper, and you can get it at drklaper.com. And, but today we're giving away something else. So Dr. Klaper is back because seriously, we're going to do this fast. It's been a long time, and I am grateful that Dr. Klaper is back. And later on the show, we're going to have Eric Kurbanov going to be joining us from Purifying USA to tell us more about the water purifying system that doesn't require any installation. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am grateful that Dr. Michael Klaper is going to teach us one more time and how to achieve optimal health through water fasting. Thank you, Dr. Klaper, for being on the Lillian McDermott radio show today.
Oh, it's good to be with you, Lillian.
Yes. So you have been a very busy guy. You even came down to Florida, and I didn't get to see you. So tell us what you've been up to. Catch us up since last year when you were on the show.
Right. Since last year, we've started an initiative called Moving Medicine Forward, and it's to address the egregious, embarrassing gap there is in the education of all physicians because they're not taught about what their patients are eating. They're not taught about nutrition in medical school. And it's becoming really bankrupt to practice medicine like what our patients are eating has no effect on these diseases, right, when that's exactly why they're sitting in front of us, obese and diabetic and clogged up and hypertensive and inflamed. It's from the Western diet pouring through their tissues meal after meal after meal. It injures us in so many ways. And doctors need to know about this. So I've been going to the medical schools and giving those young students the lecture I wish somebody had given me 50 years ago, that they're not going to be seeing smallpox and leprosy. It's the clogged arteries and diabetes from what their patients are eating. Mm-hmm. And here's how to use plant-based diets to make these diseases go away. Every young student should know about that. If people want to learn about our initiative and help us out, and very importantly, turn us on to medical students they may know so I can come to their schools. Go to my website, drklaper.com, DOCTORKLAPER. It's all spelled out. drklaper.com, and click on Moving Medicine Forward. And you'll see a one-page description of our program. Yes, where you can donate. Where we could sure use some help with the plane tickets. Nobody's paying me to do this. And very importantly, a little square on the bottom right-hand side says, if you know a medical student or a faculty member at a medical school, please give us their name and number, and we will contact them and arrange a speaking engagement at their medical school. So that's Moving Medicine Forward at drklaper.com. And you'll catch up on exactly what I've been doing for this past year.
That is amazing. And especially since you're not being paid to do this, this is something that you're doing because you are very passionate for healing the body as naturally as possible. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with taking medications. And as you know, my registered service mark is you can take a pill, you can take responsibility. And there are many times that we can avoid the pill by doing the things that you're talking about.
Absolutely.
So today we're talking about this long-awaited, you don't know how many people have emailed me, and I need for them to email me again because it was longer than we had anticipated, and that want to do this fast with me. And there's a little bit of an apprehension, and there's a little bit of excitement because I have done like a colonoscopy just recently, and I went the whole day and I didn't feel hungry. And so I want to make sure that we establish these expectations and establish get all these things out of the way so that we're really, truly the most prepared group for the fast. Does that sound good?
Yeah, absolutely. We really need to do that. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's talk about the benefits of fasting. Why should anyone fast? And then we'll talk about who shouldn't fast.
Okay. Important preliminary topics. If one believes in evolution at all, if we turn back the clock 1,000,000 years to our ancient foraging ancestors on the African savanna, you can imagine that it was probably a pretty regular occurrence that your band would go 4, 5, 6 days before they found that next berry bush with fruit on it. And for that reason, these intermittent fasts of 3, 4, 5 days on water alone was probably the rule. And our body not only knows how to do it, it learned how to survive that time, but it learned to, when calories are scarce or non-existent, if you're just drinking water, the body says, okay, every calorie I have on me is precious, and I'm not going to waste energy on reactions that don't help. And so during this water fast, the body turns down inflammation, and we use that to good advantage for people with sore joints, etc. And if you're starving to death, the body thinks it's silly to waste calories on running a malignant tumor, so cancer growth slows down or turns off during a fast. And this remarkable repair state happens where the body cleans out debris on a cellular level. Stem cells kind of hunker down and then reawaken when you start feeding again, and it's a rejuvenating process in the body. So these areas, these times of fasting, and again, we're not talking about these long medical fasts for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, which can be done, and they can be used to good effect to control runaway high blood pressure or diabetes. But right now, we're just talking about just a brief fast. We're talking 3 days to 5 days on water only. First of all, know that everybody's body can do this, unless you're on death's door taking a zillion pills here. Most everybody can do 3, 4, at the most 5 days on water. So know that your body can do this. The second is the fear. Oh my God, I get hungry when I miss lunch. Are you telling me I'm going to go 5 days with no food? For those folks, I say, relax. The body, one, certainly can do it. We certainly can survive quite well on our stored fat. But also, the body looks after us. After about 48 hours, when you run through your blood sugar and start digesting fats, these molecules called ketones come into the body. And one effect is that they turn hunger down or turn it off altogether. And most people know that by day 3, day 4, hey, I'm not even hungry anymore. And it's heaven's gift to fasters that you don't spend 5 days hungry. So it won't be that bad. And if the hunger pangs come up, then you just drink water. You can use carbonated water, fizzy water works. Or you just power through it. And within 15, 20 minutes, you're on to something else. And the hunger kind of fades away. So you'll find the hunger is, don't be afraid of it. No one... no harmful effects will happen. It's good to sit with your hunger for a little bit. So you'll get through it that way. And very importantly is preparing. The only thing you want in that gut for those days is fruit and vegetable matter only. So you don't want any decaying meat, no salmon sandwiches, no white bread, no cheese, no dairy. In the 3, preferably 5 days running up to the fast, fruits and vegetables only, and that's really important. And then leave enough time. If you're going to be doing a 5-day fast, don't plan on doing workouts with your trainer. Don't go to work. Do this over a long weekend. Do it, say, from Thursday to Sunday. And take it kind of easy, especially on the last days of the fast, day 4 and 5. You sit home, read your book, catch up on your meditation, answer your emails, but don't plan on physical work as this water fast progresses. And finally, this is for basically healthy folks. If you are on a water fast, you should stop all medications except thyroid medication, which you drop by a half dose. If you're on medications that you can't stop, if you're on blood pressure pills or antidepressants, you shouldn't be doing a water fast. You should do a juice cleanse instead. And you get 4 big glasses of vegetable juice and just sip them over the course of the day. You won't go into ketosis, but you won't put yourself in any danger either. On a water fast, if you're on medications, the medications get potentiated and people get all sorts of side effects. So with the exception of thyroid, which is dropped by half, either stop the medications if you can, if they're digestive enzymes or acid blockers or whatever you might be at, stop them during the fast. Statins, cholesterol, you're not going to be eating any cholesterol. You can stop them during the fast. So if you can stop medications, stop. If you can't, then just do a juice cleanse and stay on the safe side of this. Those are the major things to be aware of. We do need to talk about some adverse effects that people can experience. As I said, hunger, you'll play tag with it during the first 4 to 8 hours, but it usually fades away by day 3. Most folks aren't hungry. That said, I can't hear you. I see your lips moving, but I didn't hear what you're saying there.
Okay, how about now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Okay, good.
You saw my lips moving. That's really good. Okay, so with that in mind, you talked about how not to take any medication. If this is serious stuff, you can, like for thyroid, you can cut it in half. Right. What about if you have any patches like hormonal or patches for pain or patches for whatever it is?
Right. I would take those off during we're only talking about 96 hours here. Nothing bad's going to happen, even if your hormone levels dip a little bit. That should be a problem. I would take them off. Again, you don't want the medications to become too strong for you, which can happen by day 4 or 5 on a water fast. The medicines get potentiated there. They get more powerful, so you'll see more side effects. So if there's any issue, I would take those patches off for the duration of the fast.
Okay. Anything else that you would remove?
No, except, as I said, a lot of physical activity. As far as the water drinking, you don't have to go overboard. A good general amount is 64 ounces. Those are 4 16-ounce glasses. And you don't chug-a-lug them down. You just keep sipping them during the day. Just keep sipping and sipping and keep your urine nice and clear. If you do that, but you don't have to drink water every hour. You get water intoxicated doing that. Just keep sipping and sipping during the day, but go through at least 4 16-ounce glasses during that 24-hour period.
Okay, is that 64 ounces for someone like my size versus someone that's 300 pounds?
Right. In general, yes. But if by the end of the day you get to, I don't want to look at water, then you've reached your saturation point at that point. But in general, if you start in the morning, you ought to be able to get through those 4 glasses by the end of the day. That's a reasonable amount. But someone your size, 3.5, we'll take that. But that should be the minimum, I would think.
Wow. Okay. So during the fast, I found this wonderful herbal tea. It has cumin, fennel, and coriander. Mm-hmm. Is that something that I can have during the water fast?
I would not, for a number of reasons. Okay. And you want to let the water do its magic here. The idea of this is it's like taking your cells to the car wash, and for 4 or 5 days, you're just running pure water through your cells. We all have molecules stored up in our cells from all the food we eat, all the flavorings and colorings and artificial preservatives, etc. You want all that to wash out. You don't really know the effect of what these fennel oils may do, or the curcumin, or whatever. You don't know what enzymes they turn on and turn off. And it's kind of against the spirit of the fast. This is a cleanse. This is a flush out. And there's time for the fennel tea later. During this time, you want to keep it as pure as you can. So I would suggest that we do a water-only fast.
Okay, so my next question, which was when you read my lips, but I couldn't remember what I had asked you just that moment. So when it comes to hunger, you said at the beginning you might experience hunger.
Yes.
What are some tips that you have done
Right.
that would benefit us or people that you've coached through this?
Right.
What are some of the tips to kind of
Yeah.
block away the hunger?
The best that I found is if you have access to a soda stream machine that can make your drinking water fizzy with carbonation, that's often very entertaining, and the gas expands your stomach a little bit, and so that I find it more thirst quenching and more hunger quenching, if you will, is to use that. That's
like Perrier. Perrier is good.
Perrier would work, absolutely. Perrier would
Okay.
work, absolutely. So you can also have a glass of regular water, then switch to Perrier, go back and forth. Absolutely, that's a reasonable thing to do.
Good.
Anything past that starts violating the spirit of the fast. Because some folks do vegetable broth, some people put a little squirt of lemon in the water. But again, you start activating enzymes and doing things that isn't quite a water fast. So I was hold it to the water, but use the carbonated water if you need something more entertaining.
And anything else?
No, those are only two. But
Yeah, I was hoping for a puppet show. Okay.
Indeed, no. Yeah, go to a puppet show. But seriously, take your mind off it. It's amazing what a mental game this is. If you were being pursued by a saber-toothed tiger, boy, you wouldn't think twice about hunger. Man, you would just be focused on doing what you got to do. And often just getting yourself mentally busy or doing some things that don't require a lot of physical work often just takes your mind off of it. The hunger comes, it goes. And, like the Zen masters, they headache, no headache, fine. Hunger, no hunger, fine. And just observe it. It's not going to kill you. A big wink, no one ever died of hunger. But at least on a 5-day fast, no mortality rate from hunger per se.
That sounds like what I tell parents. No one's ever died from crying. So
Indeed.
just let a child cry. It's
Let
okay
them
for them to cry,
It's
especially if
okay.
they're throwing a tantrum. It's okay.
Indeed. That's
Okay,
okay.
so
Yeah.
another question regarding the water consumption.
Mhm.
What's going to happen to our urination and our bowel movements?
Yes, the urination is going to continue, and it might increase a bit, and that's kind of the object of the exercise. You want to give those kidneys plenty of water to flush out waste that are going to be coming out of your tissues. So yay for water and yay for urination. Thank heavens you can do that. People in the renal unit on dialysis would love to be able to urinate. They can't. So welcome the urination. That's just fine. The bowel movements, nobody's going to go into this with totally empty intestinal tract. Your intestinal tract is darn near 30 feet long. And there's going to be food material in there from days past. And you may well have bowel movements during the fast, and they're going to be some maybe big and bulky at the beginning. They may get looser and more water as it goes on. That's all fine. Your intestine wants to clean out as well. And, the intestinal tract's the one system we never allow to rest. We're constantly eating from the time we get up to before we go to bed. We have those last night's snacks, which your digestive system has to work on all night while you're sleeping. Well, this is for 5 days. Your digestive system is going to get a chance to rest and clean out as well. So you'll have bowel movements. They're fine. Just observe them. They're okay.
Good. And so I heard you say that if somebody is taking medication, that they should not attempt a water fast, that a juice fast might be better for them.
Indeed.
And you know what? And for those of you who want to do a juice fast while we're doing a water fast, is there anything that they need to know with a juice fast, Dr. Klaper?
No. Well, a couple of things, but just to sharpen up our labeling here. We're talking about a water-only fast, and you go into the fasting state, ketosis, etc. I don't use the term juice fast. It's a juice cleanse.
Cleanse, that's right. That's right.
Well, the reason why is
I'm already acting like I have foggy brain. There we go.
But it's a common mislabeling. But people are not going to go into ketosis on a juice cleanse, and so in that way, it's not truly a fast. But it's a wonderful thing to do, to just pour these wonderful phytonutrient-rich juices through your tissues hour after hour. boy, 4 or 5 days on juices is a wonderful thing to do, and I'm all for it. You will definitely benefit, even though you don't go into ketosis. I just want to mention these are green juices. It's not a fruit juice fast. You don't load it up with papayas and orange juice and apple juice. That's too much sugar. We're talking about a green juice here, made of whatever greens you got in the house there, run through the juicer, and then a little bit of apple or carrot so it doesn't taste like lawn clippings. But it's a green juice. And again, you don't chug-a-lug it down. You take a mouthful, put the glass down, chew it up, mix with your saliva, swallow it, wait 5-10 minutes. Let it get down into your stomach, out into your system. Easy does it. Take another mouthful, put the glass down, chew it up, swallow it, wait 10 minutes. Take a couple of hours to drink each one of these juices. And you should go through 4 of them. At True North, the kitchen staff brought up a nice big 16-ounce glass of juice at 9 in the morning, then another one at noon, and then another one at 3 in the afternoon, and then another one at 5 in the afternoon. So you got 4 16-ounce juices spaced during the day. You just sip them during the day, and that's how you get through a juice cleanse. And I'm all for that. If people want to juice along with us, they'll get tremendous benefit out of that.
Very good. Now, going into the fast, you said you want people to be eating fruits and vegetables only prior to the fast.
Right.
And although we haven't even begun the fast, and I'm looking forward to being guided by you, when we start looking at ending the fast, I remember the last time you were on, you talked about watermelon and what are other foods that we should have ready for us when we start breaking the fast.
Right. Okay. My experience comes from the fact I was on the medical staff at True North Health Center in Santa Rosa, California for 8 years, and I supervised several thousand fasts. I've seen this process many, many times. Now, as far as coming out of the fast, there's a couple of ways to do this. A classic way to do this is with to start with a glass of vegetable broth, and you can buy vegetable broth off the shelf at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods, and usually 50-50 diluted with water, and just sip a glass of vegetable broth just to let your intestines know, oops, something's coming on, the fast is over here. So start with a glass of vegetable broth, and then if you're really hungering for something sweet, you can move on to a bowl of watermelon chunks. Just chunk up some watermelon and just eat them one at a time. After 5 days on water, those are ambrosia from the gods, those watermelon chunks. And then you can move on to other cantaloupe and honeydew melon. But some folks don't want to look at sweet. It's just too much. Their mouth would get sensitive. These folks should come up through the non-sugary door, like we do with the people with diabetes, with type 2 diabetes. And these folks, after the vegetable broth, we boil up some zucchini chunks, chunks of boiled zucchini, or a blended squash. You can steam up some summer squash, throw it in a blender and make a squash blend and eat that. And then move on to a broth-based soup where it's basically vegetable broth with some well-steamed spinach or kale floating around in there, and just slowly work your way into the denser vegetable-based type of foods.
Okay.
So it's up to the person. If what you're dreaming of during the fast, oh, I can't wait to get those melon chunks, then you should probably do the melon. If you're someone that, melon's too sweet, then come up through the vegetable broth and zucchini chunk door there. Yeah. And for the folks who aren't completely plant-based ahead of time, for a minimum 3 days, preferably 5 days, breakfast should be oatmeal with some fruit, and lunches and dinners should be big salads, hearty vegetable soup, big plates of steamed green and yellow vegetables, some quinoa or millet or buckwheat for grains, sweet potatoes for starches. You can have lentils and beans. That's the kind of whole food plant-based diet you want in your intestinal tract for a minimum 3 days, preferably 5 days before you do the water fast. Because if you don't, if you're eating white bread and cheese and fish, that first bowel movement will be a bowel movement from hell. There's no fiber in it, and so you'll be very uncomfortable. So that's why you want those high fiber meals in the days going into the fast.
Okay, and so with people that want to do a a water fast because they want to release weight.
Right.
Basically, when we are in a water fast, we're releasing our water.
Correct.
Is this a good idea for weight loss, or is this a better idea, or a good idea for just general health that will lead to weight loss?
Oh, Lillian, thank you for asking that question. That is such an important issue. Weight loss, water fasting is not about weight loss. Yes, you will lose weight. By day 5, you'll be down 5 or 8 pounds, no question. But two things. One, it's mostly water out of your tissues, glycogen out of your muscles. It's not fat that's really melting off. The amount of fat coming off is about 2 50-cent pieces worth of weight. And as soon as you start eating, the water comes back in your tissues, the glycogen comes back in your muscles. After 5 days, your net weight loss is going to be not much. That said, it's a wonderful thing to do for rebalancing your tissues, your hormones, toning down inflammation. It's a wonderful thing to do. Will change your viewing on food, that's for sure. But if you're looking for weight loss, your key lies in those 5 days before the fast, is what you ate before, the soups and the salads and the greens and the bean chilies and vegetable stews. That's what will help you lose weight, because that's mostly fiber and water. Keeping your belly full of those foods is what produces a lean, healthy body. Weight loss happens after the fast, day after day, week after week, month after month of these high fiber, high water content meals. That's what creates a lean body. It's not 5 days on water. So don't be looking for, oh, how much weight did I lose? That's not what water fasting is about. Water fasting is rebalancing and regaining health and clarity and vitality. But it's not about weight loss. I'm glad you clarified that.
Okay, and thank you. And one other thing is for people who have conditions, and I know that we're just doing a 5-day cleanse. Like I had a person who has wrote me an email saying that they have frequent urination and they have an enlarged prostate, and they would like to be a part of this fast, and they're wondering if this would help with releasing any metals or any chemicals or anything that could be causing the enlarged prostate. What is your recommendation for someone who has that condition?
Right. Enlarged prostate are usually from the standard Western diet. The meat and the dairy are full of hormones, and they make the body create dihydrotestosterone that makes that prostate gland get big. The definitive treatment for big prostate is a whole food, plant-based diet, low in oils. You definitely want to do that. But would a brief fast help this man? Absolutely. It's a great thing to do. But if you want or think you need a longer fast, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, which is absolutely appropriate in the right circumstances. If you have runaway high blood pressure, you got type 2 diabetes, you've got some inflammatory disease like lupus or rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, a long fast is a great way to put these conditions into remission. But you need medical supervision. If you're in this category, then you should be at an institution like True North Health Center up in Santa Rosa. You should go to Dr. Furman's fasting place in San Diego. Dr. Nathan Gershfeld has one in Orange County. Dr. Gracie Ewan has one in Ohio. There are fasting centers around. Dr. Frank Sabatino just opened one in Florida. Go to a place like this where people are experienced in supervising fasts and consider doing one of these nice long fasts. It's a wonderful thing to go a few weeks. Boy, you come out a different person after a couple of weeks on water, I'll tell you, and food looks very different to you.
I'm looking forward to that because I want to stop doing that all the time. So this is what we're going to be doing. June 4th is the beginning of the fast. I know it's like the Tuesday. It's not. We're working around Dr. Klaper's schedule as well. So June 4th is when we're going to be starting the fast, and it will end on the 9th. Prior to that, you need to prepare yourself for the fast by just doing juice, vegetables and fruits, so that when you go into the fast, you're not dealing with a lot of animal products in your intestines.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to make clear that I can't take medical responsibility for anybody who is doing this fast.
Correct.
I'm supervising you, Lillian.
You're supervising me. And then the ones who want to be a part of it, we'll do like a little Zoom meeting where we can talk about how we're feeling and anything that is out of the norm, or maybe motivate one another to get through this. But we will do this on a private setting so that it's not, maybe we could do it on Facebook Live. I don't know. But
that's very important that we get that clarified here. And I just want to mention, as far as the adverse effects, because especially with you and your petite build there, the majority of folks who go into a water fast don't have any adverse effects. They're usually standard American folks. They got a little extra fat on their bodies, and they cruise. They may have a little hunger at the beginning, but they just cruise right through. They don't get blood pressure issues, etc. But when you get the lean women like you and the really lean guys, these are the folks who can have less than exciting experiences on a fast. And the two things they run into is, one, as I said, most people, especially with some fat on their body, that hunger goes away by day 3, 4, it's gone. But the skinny folks, when I hear, I was hungry all the way through, it was from the skinny folks who didn't experience the usual quelling of the hunger. And second, some of the really light, lean folks, if they stand up too fast on day 3 or 4, blood leaves their head, ooh, they get a little lightheaded, they get a little nauseated. They're more likely to experience some of the adverse effects. If you just move around slow when you're getting up out of chairs or out of bed, you shouldn't have any problem. Drink enough water. But I just want to let people know that the 8 to 9 out of 10 people have great experiences. The 1 or 2 out of 10 who don't, it's usually the lean, petite women or guys. And the worst that happens, the hunger doesn't go away, or you get a little lightheaded when you stand up. Just let you know that those two things can happen.
Yeah. So I'm committing to 1 day at a time.
That's the way to do it. Yes.
I'm committing to 1 day at a time, just like I did with my Bible study. When I joined Bible Study Fellowship, I said, okay, I'll do it 1 day at a time. And 7 years later, I graduated. So
that's why you and I are going to be checking in during these fights, and I'm going to say how you doing, any lightheadedness, any nausea, any headaches. I'm going to ask you those 3 questions every day. And if you say yes to any of those, it's going to make me just, all right, should we really continue or not? Those are the 3 signs people need to look out for. Nausea, like you're going to get ready to vomit, you should have some juice or something to drink, something to eat. Lightheadedness, when you stand up, it's time to end the fast. If it's really severe, a little bit is okay. But if, whoa, I feel going to pass out, you should probably end the fast. Or a headache that makes you want to reach for your revolver, a big pounder, is low blood sugar. That should probably be dealt with some melon or some juice.
Okay. So June 4th is the beginning date of the fast. You need to email me at lily@whenyouneedafriend.com if you want to be a part of this fast, lily@whenyouneedafriend.com. Also, if you want to learn more and you want to get your own copy of Fasting by Dr. Michael Klaper, you're welcome to go to his website, which is drklaper.com. Dr. Klaper, I'm very grateful to you for this time. We're going to, celebrate with this accomplishment. I'm hoping that I'll make it the 5th day. And
I think you will.
That's my goal. But, and for those of you who want to join us, we're going to do that too. So Dr. Klaper, I know that you need to go. Is there anything that you would like to add before we start talking about the water treatment system that we're going to be giving away?
Sure. There's no failure here. Nobody tells you, oh, I didn't make it through all 5 days, I'm a failure. Listen, your body is where it is. It'll be grateful for every hour that you're just drinking water. Your body's going to win no matter how many days you do this. This is not a contest. It's not a competition. Just being an explorer and a student of what your body is looking for. And you'll have a good experience. And even if it's just for 1 day, you'll learn something from that. So relax. There should be no danger here. Everybody should do well.
I love it. Thank you, Dr. Klaper, for joining us today. And I am very grateful to you. Oh, real quick. I know you don't recommend doing water, tap water, right? That's what you
no, it should be purified water in some way.
Purified water.
Reverse osmosis or filtered or whatever. Yeah, these days, don't use tap water.
That's right. And that's what our next segment's going to be all about. Dr. Klaper, thank you so much for joining us today. I am very grateful to you, and I'm looking forward to our first phone call.
Same here. All the best.
You take care. Now we're going to switch gears. We're going to switch gears. And what we're going to talk about now is, first, before I bring Eric coming in, I want to talk about my sponsors and the show and how you can get a hold of me. For those of you who would like to be a part of this fast, you need to be a subscriber at whenyouneedafriend.com. That's the way you do it. You need to be a subscriber. So I want to encourage you to subscribe. And while you're there, make sure you check out my sponsors. Without my sponsors, there would be no show. And today's show is being sponsored by Purifying. And they have given me a water purifier system, and I've been drinking it since late January. And I'm really excited to share that the reason why I held off doing the water fast is I wanted to make sure I didn't have chlorine or any fluoridation in my water. And Puricom and Eric Kurbanov came up and said, I will give not only you, I will give some lucky winners and fans gifts to start their water fast too. So for those of you who want a treatment, a zero installation purifying system, you are welcome to call 407-373-5959. You can leave a message. You can call for a text. You can instant message me. And he's not only giving away for a lucky viewer today at Lillian's radio show, but they're also for YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube later on, or if you are listening on podcast, you also get to be winning the prize. But guess what? You have got to try for this. You've got to say, this is what I want. And there are rules. You have to be a subscriber to whenyouneedafriend.com. Also subscribe to my Facebook, my YouTube channel. And of course, you probably already liked me and followed me on Facebook. So we're not even going to, that's something that you must have as well. And then you be the 20th caller or texter for each individual one, and you get to enjoy this. And so go to whenyouneedafriend.com, subscribe like I've asked you to do for a while, and check out my sponsors. And for those of you who don't win, you can go to whenyouneedafriend.com and you get 10% off. There's a code, and we'll ask Eric. And so I am excited, Eric, that you are here. Eric Kurbanov is on the Lillian McDermott radio show to not only promote great health, but to also be very, very generous. Thank you so much for joining us today, Eric. Can you hear me? Okay, so I can't hear Eric. Eric, are you there? Oh, you were me. Hey, you did the same thing I did earlier. How are you doing, Eric?
Very good. Thank you very much for having me on.
Well, I hear that you just finished doing a 5-day water cleanse.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And,
was it sympathy pains or what? How did it go for you?
Well, everything that Dr. mentioned earlier, all those phases, absolutely true. My biggest surprise was that it was easier than I thought it was going to be.
Say more, say more.
Yes. So the first 2 days, you kind of in that, your body is in the phase of getting used to not having any food or any more calories coming in. And I personally felt like I was in a haze. And it felt like almost like you in this cloudy space. And from all the videos that I watched online and everything that I read, people said, you know, oh, you're going to get such a clarity of mind. And, you know, you can meditate and pray and all sorts of stuff. And by these 2 days, I'm thinking to myself, gosh, if people think that this is clarity of mind, I don't know what kind of mess they have when they're not fasting, you know? So then third day came around and it was completely different for me. That's when I realized that if you want to focus on a certain project, you can. And you do get that, well, I got that clarity on the third day. And from that point on, it was very easy. I also cheated a little bit with sparkling water.
Oh, that wasn't a cheat. That wasn't a cheat. According to Dr. Klaper, that's something you can do.
Yes, he did mention that earlier. I did listen to it. Yes, and helps huge, big difference. By the second day, I couldn't stand looking at water anymore. And my dad came in and he brought me this, I think it was Perrier at that time. And he goes, here, try this. I'm like, I can't look at this water anymore. He goes, try it. And then once I did, it was a huge difference. I couldn't believe that a little bit of CO2 in water can make such a big difference how you feel when you drink it.
Awesome.
The only thing that I did change up a little bit is when I did buy sparkling water, I made sure that it was in glass bottle.
Yes.
I did not
Very
want to have any plastic.
Very good. So, okay. So we just started with your experience, but share a little bit about your background, Eric, and your passion for water and making water sustainable and healthy for all of us.
Sure. So this is my first time being on air. And also I'll be sharing a little bit of background of my personal background in public as well for the first time. So if I come across a little bit nervous, please
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Yeah, so I grew up in a former Soviet Union republic called Uzbekistan, and it was part of Soviet Union up until 91. And in 91, I just went for the first grade in school in Soviet Union. It was still Soviet Union at that time. So once Soviet Union fell apart and a lot of republics gained their own independence from Communist Party and Communist regime, with that also came a lot of turbulence because the countries, the republics are, somewhat new and trying to govern themselves without, someone else looking over their shoulder and telling them what to do. Mm-hmm. And the little town that I'm from, the infrastructure fell apart very quickly. Mm. So growing up, we only had running water once in the morning for an hour, 30 minutes, and one time in the evening for an hour and 30 minutes. And even during that time, what we used to do, we would fill up the bathtub with water. Mm-hmm. So we have something to use throughout the day for flushing toilets and etc. And it wasn't uncommon that when you fill up the bathtub, you might see some bugs or little crawlers in the water. So the common thing to do is to boil the water. You don't drink any water that's not boiled, mm-hmm. And/or teas, which made with boiling water. And the chlorination, nothing was being done, nothing. It was a terrible experience. But when we did boil the water, we would put them in glass containers, glass jars, and keep them so that it's ready to go all the time. On the bottom, you'll see a sediment of hardness. Mm-hmm. Some people might notice that in their kettles where they boil the water in, if they don't have a purification system or a good water filter system, you'll end up with a real thick layer of basically hardness or rock building up in the kettles. So that's my background. And when I came to the United States, start getting into a bit more interested in water filtration systems. And now here we're 15 years later.
That's wonderful. And congratulations. So how did you come up with Puricom? And by the way, what are you tell us about the unit and what to expect with it. Do you have a sample of the unit?
Yes, I do. I was trying to figure out how to make it fit into a...
Can you bring it up? It looks like a coffee maker is what it looks like. So for people who are renting or people who don't want to drill holes, this sits on your counter like a coffee maker, and I love it. I love it. So go ahead.
All right. So the idea for this unit was born in 2009, 2008, 2009. And the Puricom Taiwan, they were visiting me because I was trying to build a business together with them. And I said, you know what? One of the biggest hurdles that I get from people is the installation. People know about reverse osmosis. It's great. And, you know, when people call me, they ask me who's going to install it, because I had an online business at that time trying to sell reverse osmosis systems through internet. And I said, we just got to figure out somehow for everyone else that either unable to install it or don't want to take a chance of ruining their countertop or the kitchen space with drilling the holes and installation process. So we got to come up with something.
Yeah. And
the Puricom engineers, they've been around for more than 80 years. I'm sorry, since 1984. So it's pretty close to 30-some years. Great design people. They have very strong technical know-how. They said, you know what, we're gonna build something. It took 3 years of trial and error, another 2 years of market testing in Europe, because we wanted to work all the bugs out of it before we brought it into the United States. And that's how it was born. It was a true necessity. And from my part, it was listening to people, what they're saying, instead of trying to just push on them what the solution that we already had, which is under sink systems, where a lot of people could not use them because they were renting or they didn't want to take a chance on the installation.
Because it's difficult. Sometimes it seems overwhelming to put in and have to pay for someone to do that. But this has everything inside the unit, right? Is there any way we can see it, or?
That's correct. So it's a standalone unit. And like you mentioned, it does work like a coffee maker. So there's no connections to anything at all. The only thing that you would need to do is plug it into an outlet, 120 volts, regular kitchen outlet. From that point on, how it works is the bottom tank is removable. So you would take it out and you would refill it from your kitchen sink.
Yep.
All the way up to the max line here. And this takes a gallon of water. And a gallon of water might be heavy for some people. And we have taken that into consideration. And that's the reason why the bottom tank, the supply tank, is loaded on the bottom part of the unit. So you don't have to lift it or anything. You just set it on your countertop and you slide it in. Once the water with the container is in, all you have to do is just press this button. For example, the blue light starts blinking and the unit starts to purify water. When it's done, it's going to automatically shut itself off. And it takes about 15 minutes, but it might take up to 20 minutes depending on the quality of the water that's being filtered. Once the process is completed, it's a 4-stage process. There's sediment filtration. There's a carbon block filtration. The 3rd stage is reverse osmosis that does most of the purification of the water. And the 4th stage, and this is something also unique that we have done, is alkaline post-filter. Now, we call it alkaline post-filter because it adds a little bit of calcium and magnesium back into the water, and we do it primarily for taste, because there's been numbers of studies done out there where people prefer a little bit of calcium and magnesium in the water. So that's the 4th stage, and the purified water is stored on top, and you will get half a gallon of pure water on the top ready to go. So once that is completed, you can dispense it by flicking up, and it's going to stay up. The water is going to continuously come out. Or you can just press and hold, and the water will dispense into your glass right under it. As simple as that.
It is very simple. And you're giving this away so that we could, at least for those of you who want to do this fast, or maybe you're tired of chlorinated or the quality that we have in our water. And you know, Eric, as you were telling your story, growing up in the Soviet Union and having to wait for certain hours and seeing the sediment and seeing all the things that were coming out of your faucet, when you were telling that story, although you could see it, there's a lot of things we cannot see in our water. There's chlorine, there's fluoride, and you sent me your purification, your test for the water system. Can you share a little bit about the quality of the water that comes out of the unit?
Sure. So the reason why we went with reverse osmosis process, it's by far one of the most efficient ways to purify water. And water purity from reverse osmosis comes very close to distilled water. And distilled water is one of the purest forms of water out there. So why not go with distillation then? The distillation has a lot of drawbacks. It uses a lot of energy, it's very slow, and the maintenance of the distillers is also very time consuming.
And you know what, Eric? Let me, because I'm seeing that the time is going away, but we're not done with the show. We're done with our podcast right now. And so for those of you who are listening to the podcast and you want to catch the rest of the show, you can go to YouTube, Lillian McDermott radio show, or you can also catch us on Facebook Live. The video will be there. But I want to say thank you to you. We're giving this away. Eric is giving it away. And I've been the wonderful recipient of one as well. So if you would like your own, make sure that you call 407-373-5959. You need to make sure you follow the rules. You've got to subscribe to whenyouneedafriend.com, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and of course, you're probably subscribed already to my Facebook page. But when you do that, you send me that text or send me an instant message and let me know that you are ready to be part of this, qualify for this. And the 20th person that gets to me will win this zero installation water purifier. So thank you so much, Eric, for being so wonderful. I really appreciate you. Thank you. And we're not done with the show, but Dr. Klaper, if you can join us with our final goodbye, I would love that too. So please remember, we'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Happy fasting, everybody. Make it the best day
ever.
Yay. Good job. Good job.
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lillian McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert before taking any steps to improve your life.
We're back. So this is the private part of our show where we get to really, if you want a free, can you imagine, this is a $400 value that Eric's not only giving to you. Now, Eric, you are the president of the company?
That's correct. Of the
Puricon USA, the USA version of it. And and you've been doing this and your passion, I'm just so excited that we found each other. When we talked about this with Dr. Klaper back in, I don't know, December of last year when we did the show, what was so wonderful is that I reached out to you, Eric, to say, hey, we're planning on doing this fasting in January or February at the beginning of the year, but Dr. Klaper is so in demand and he's traveling teaching so many students how to use nutritional excellence to heal the body that this was the first opportunity we had to get him.
Mm-hmm.
You were so patient through this whole thing. You didn't push me to promote your product. You didn't do anything. So I want to acknowledge you for the purity that the trueness that you bring to the table, that you truly want people to do their fast with the best quality of water possible. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, no. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
So for those of you who, all you have to do, if you want try to get a free unit,
Mm-hmm.
you either call 407-373-5959. You can leave a message or text. You can instant message me that you want a chance. Now, the 20th person to get to me is going to get it. So, and then if you're listening on YouTube later on, or if you just joined us back from the podcast, then just know that you too, because he's not just giving one away, he's giving a lot more than that. And we're going to have Eric come back as we finish the fast and talk a little bit about our experience with everybody who joins in the fast. We're going to talk about the experience. So if you want to be a part of the fast, you need to email me at Lilly, Lilly, at whenyouneedafriend.com. If you decide you don't want to try for the 20th chance, then you can go to whenyouneedafriend.com, the shop now button, and you can click on it and you get 10%. What's the coupon for that, Eric?
Yes. So the coupon is automatically generated when people click on that link.
Ah, gotcha.
So, yes.
And it's like friend, something like that about being a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Need
Yes.
a friend. Yeah. And so once you click on it, you can get it for a discount, because it's normally like $500. And then on the Puricom USA, it's $399, $400.
Correct.
Don't buy into the 99. But,
Yes.
and then is there a cost for shipping or anything like that?
So shipping is free, and through anywhere in the United States, even Canada. The shipping is free. There's no other associated cost. It's $3.99 minus 10% discount for your listeners only. And that's the only cost associated with it. There might be some sales tax if anybody is shipping the unit into, or they're located in Florida, because we're also a Florida-based company, and we have to unfortunately collect sales tax, maybe fortunately for our kids and schools and roads. So that's the only catch, is a sales tax.
What about if somebody that's listening, because we have listeners from all over the world, what if somebody's listening from outside the country? How do they get can they even buy one through you?
We do not ship outside of United States, Canada, and Mexico.
Okay.
However, if anybody would like to purchase our unit, there are third-party services available for exactly this type of situations in e-commerce, because a lot of U.S. companies will not ship outside United States, and there are many different services out there that will take care of this type of situation.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So what's the difference now between reverse osmosis and alkaline? Why did you feel like you wanted to take reverse osmosis? Does the water taste really bad in reverse osmosis?
No, it doesn't. But for somebody coming from drinking basically tap water all their life and switching over to something that's very pure, the water will taste a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And with adding a little bit of minerals like calcium and magnesium back into the water, it gives it just a little bit more pleasant taste for a lot of people. However, if you have been drinking reverse osmosis water for 10, 20 years, or ever since you're a little kid, like my kids are, then you drink this water here with a little bit of minerals in it, it will also taste a little bit different. So it all depends where you're coming from. if you're somebody who has been drinking tap water, it's going to taste different. If you somebody who's been drinking reverse osmosis water, depending again on your location, where you're located, and what type of water has been purified by reverse osmosis, so local water quality, it also might taste a little bit different. But 99% of our customers love the taste of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And I can probably even give a little bit more clarity. It's 99.99%. So far in my experience, there's been only 2 people who called and said, you know what, I don't like the taste. I said, all right, the unit comes with money back guarantee for the whole year. So if you don't like it, you can return it anytime.
No way, for a whole year. I didn't know that.
Right.
Well, I'm not returning mine, so I'm telling you that right now. So let's talk about the test that was done for the purification of the water. So you have chlorine and you had fluoride, and I was looking at the numbers that were present, and then after it was filtered, it had no trace of fluoride and very little chlorine. So let's talk about that.
Sure. Yeah. So chlorine will actually be taken out a lot easier by a reverse osmosis system. And the reason being is there's 2 carbon filters in our unit here. And carbon is that what takes out the chlorine and also chloramines and other disinfection byproducts.
Yeah.
Fluoride is a little bit tougher to remove, but that also gets taken care of by a reverse osmosis system in combination with a carbon filters that are in the unit. So as far as third-party testing, we will be conducting and we'll be getting certified by the end of this year. Mm-hmm. And we'll be publishing all those results on our website as well. Reverse osmosis systems in general, and it doesn't matter if it's our product or you buy something else that's out there on the marketplace, they do one of the best jobs in purifying the water, comparing to anything else that's out there. So with that in mind, and like Eric, I don't want to take your word for it. I want to see something in writing.
Yeah.
We will have that by the end of this year. And so.
That's wonderful. Okay. I've been asked several questions. How bad do you want this unit? There are no rules to how many times you can call in. There are no rules to how many times you can send me a message. So how badly do you want it? And that's the rule. But the rule is that you must be a subscriber. You must subscribe also to whenyouneedafriend.com. You must subscribe also to my YouTube channel. And it's a given. If you are watching me right now on Facebook Live at Lillian's radio show, you're probably subscribed or followed or liked me on the show as well. So I want to encourage you to do all that. All you have to do is send me either instant message or an email at lillian@whenyouneedafriend.com, or you can send me or a call or text at 407-373-5959. Now, everyone, if you tell me that you're calling or you watch from YouTube or you watch from podcast or you watch from Facebook, that's how we're going to know. So you can enter as many times as you want, whether you entered from YouTube or Facebook. If you want this unit, go for it. And if you want to be a part of the fast, then make sure that you send me an email saying, I want to be a part of that fast, so that when we do our daily regrouping, you can share with me how you're feeling and we can share with one another. We'll do it maybe a Facebook Live or maybe we'll do a private Zoom. But either way, I want to make sure that you feel that you're part of this fast with me. So with that in mind, I'm excited about this. I have my water, Eric, and I picked the black one. So you have a choice between white and black, right? That's correct. Yes, we do have 2 colors. And I think most of the people's kitchens are going to be either black appliances or white appliances. And then you might have some metallic combinations of stainless steel. With stainless steel, you can probably go with either black or white. Mm-hmm.
But for the other two most common kitchens out there, we have the colors that match the best.
Yeah. Well, I picked the black one, and I know that everybody, whoever wins this, they can choose their color, but I'm kind of liking the white one.
Yes. So the white ones are very nice, but from my own personal experience, if you have it in a kitchen and if you cook a lot, the white ones will get some mileage. So, and you might be cleaning them up or wiping them down a lot more often than you would with a black color. Yeah.
So I think that it's you're probably going to be shipping black ones to everybody, right?
Well, it depends. It depends. Whatever people want. I did want to come circling back around into your question about fluoride and chlorine.
Yes.
Those are not the only contaminants or things that, in my personal opinion, that people should worry about. There's three main, I'm trying to figure out what the best way to put it, three main sources of contaminants in the water.
Okay.
The first one is naturally occurring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's stuff in the ground, it's just there. The water, especially down here in Florida, you know, it rains, it goes through the ground, it gets filtered through, but at the same time, it picks up a certain amount of metals, heavy metals, very abundant. If anybody is interested, they can always go to municipality website that's servicing their home and providing water, and you can download the water treatment report or water quality report from the website.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take a look, most likely you will see some radioactive elements there.
Mm.
And that's just something that's naturally occurring within ground. The second source is pollution in terms of agriculture, maybe some manufacturing,
Pharmaceuticals,
herbicides, and pesticides, and a lot of other things that just around us. And the third one, and that's the one that you have brought up, is disinfection byproducts. And what they are, they're meant to keep the water safe while water is traveling from water plant to your home. And I completely agree with it. There's some people out there saying, you know, we've got to stop using chlorine, we've got to stop using chloramines, and et cetera, et cetera. I don't personally agree with completely stopping using disinfection byproducts. Why? Because it's hot, it's wet in Florida, and nature just wants to flourish. I mean, you put water that doesn't have anything in there to kill the bugs will be there. Mm-hmm. So in my personal opinion, I think it's best to have something that kills all the bacteria, viruses, and et cetera, by the time it gets to your home. And that's when you actually filter it out and purify it.
I love it.
Personal consumption.
That's a great perspective. I was kind of following you. I can see the water going through the sewer system, this going through to our pipes and coming out of our faucet. Mm-hmm. But once it comes out of the faucet, you open that bottom container. You just put it from the bottom container. You put the water straight there, and Correct. Just know that the water that's going to come out at the top mm-hmm. is going to be pure water. And you don't have to worry about those contaminants. So I think that's a wonderful perspective that, yes, chlorine so that the water is clean, but there's a lot more than that. So when it comes to pesticides and when it comes to pharmaceuticals, that's the third party testing that you're going to be doing. Is that going to include all that?
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Yes. And in reality, and it may not be beneficial for me to say this, but within reverse osmosis systems, as long as it's been manufactured by a company that has been in business for a long time, and they're going to stay in business for a long time, they're not just fly by night, make quick buck, and then leave.
Yeah.
Most likely the membrane and all the components that are used in that system are of very good quality. Mm-hmm. And when you have reverse osmosis systems that have good quality components in them, and you set them up with, you know, a row of 10 different systems and you test them all, they will be very, very close to each other as far as performance and testing and removal of the different contaminants. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I want people to get a reverse osmosis system, whether it's ours or something else. Just get one and start using it and start drinking good, pure water.
Isn't that, and you said there's something that I want everybody to know about every single step we take towards purification. Do you remember that?
Every single step we take.
Yeah, you just said, you had mentioned to me, because we talked earlier, and you had said that you want people to understand that every step we take towards eating better, to drinking better water, is helpful for healing our body.
Oh, yes, definitely. Thank you for reminding me. I went blank for a second. Yeah. So every little bit counts. That's kind of my personal motto in life. Anything that you can do, even if you're not able to do the 5-day fast, do 1-day fast. If you can't do 1 day, go half a day. You know, just try. Do everything that you possibly can. Don't just give up and say, well, there's no way I can do 5-day fast. I'm not even gonna, you know, try. No, just do whatever you can. And how I came on that is that, do we have about 10 minutes for me?
Yeah, 10, yeah.
Okay. So I used to work for Clean Water America, which is a local water treatment company. And I was in sales and marketing, and they're located in Fort Myers, Florida. They have a retail location where people come in, they ask questions about water equipment and get to know it. So it's not a typical water treatment company to where you call and they send a salesman in your home and he will come into your house, you know, twist your arm for 2 hours and get you to buy a water system. So this is a little bit of different approach in doing business within water treatment industry. The one downside to that is we would have some plumbers come in, which there's nothing against plumbers, but they would come in, they get all information that's needed to place the proper type of equipment for a certain problem water. They would leave, they would buy the equipment from the wholesaler using the knowledge and expertise provided, and then install it for their customer. Doesn't happen often, but happens enough to notice it and know about it. So this one summer day, I was sitting in my office working on something, and the office manager comes in and she says, there's a customer there that he would like to have some information. Would you mind going and talking to him? I said, sure. And I looked at her and she was smiling really wide. I'm like, well, what's going on? She says, he's a plumber. I'm like, oh, come on, not another one of them, you know? So I walk out and I start talking to a person. Of course, I'm a little bit defensive because I have this thought in my head that, you know, he's just going to use my knowledge and my expertise and then walk away and then waste my time, basically. And this was a great lesson for me that I learned. So I start talking with him. He's a little bit defensive, just like I expected. He was asking me all this question. He says, do you have a reverse osmosis system with a mineral post filter, which is that adds the minerals back after the water has been purified? I said, yes, we do. And this is what we had. And I show it to him. And in fact, it's the same filters that go inside this unit here. And he's looking around. And I noticed that there was something odd about this particular plumber. And I looked at him and straight up asked him, I said, what's going on? What is it that you're not telling me? He kind of looked at me, got a little bit upset, and said, well, my daughter just got out the hospital. And she has Crohn's disease. And her doctor told her that because she's been in the hospital for so many days, that she's very deficient on minerals. And I need to get her a system that will purify the water, because the tap water and with everything that's in it, it just makes her stomach more upset.
Sure.
And I don't want her to drink bottled water because of all the plastic or everything else that's in it. He said, I did my research. Reverse osmosis is the best way to go. I know that. And now I just want something that has minerals in it to help her, because she's so, she's in so much need for those minerals because she's so severely dehydrated.
Yeah.
I said, well, you're a smart man. You've done your research. You know that the minerals that she's going to get from this is probably not going to be enough. She probably needs supplements. Mm-hmm. He looked at me, he said, she can't keep nothing down and except water. And every little bit helps. I said, okay, every little bit helps. So if supplements don't help, just get what you can. And that's the backstory for every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps. And so I ask you, my viewers who are watching this on YouTube later on and Facebook Live at Lillian's radio show, how much do you want this system? Well, if you'll have a chance, be the 20th caller or texter, of course you have to subscribe and start at it. Start sending messages on instant message on Facebook, or send me a text. Let me know where you're listening from, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or podcast, or just go for it. Go for it. No rules other than the ones I just said. Okay. So I've been using this water since early February. And I was so excited. I have not said this to you, Eric, but prior to hearing from you, I had bought myself another system because I was tired of drinking tap water. Actually, I do the filtered waters through my refrigerator, but it wasn't, I didn't feel that was going to be enough for me. And it was so complicated. You couldn't see the water. You didn't know when the water needed to be refilled. There was a coating on it, and it just wasn't good. And then when you reach back out, we did a side-by-side comparison. Mm-hmm. And we decided to stay with your product, which is it's the zero installation purifier or purifier. So I want to encourage you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. If you don't win it, you can at least get it, and there's 10% off. So you go to the shop with Lily, or the shopping section, and you click on it, and you will automatically get that 10% off of the $400. So that's a $40 savings. It gets even better. If you're the 20th caller, texter, instant message, emailer, you also get. So everybody gets one that qualifies as the 20th caller or texter. So let's start the process. 407-373-5959. Eric, I'm so excited that we're working together, and that and I know that there's a new model coming out pretty soon.
That's correct. So and this is also something very new that we have decided to do. It's not new model per se, but it's a new variation. And what that is instead of having alkaline post filter in the unit, we're going to have a different post filter that doesn't add the minerals back, because we have realized that not all people, not everyone wants to have the minerals back in their water. Mm-hmm. So this other option with this different post filter, it will actually give you zero total dissolved solids, or TDS. Mm-hmm. That's how the purity of the water is measured. So it's going to be just like distilled water. Very, very 100% pure.
Very good. Very good. And I'm looking forward to that one too, because, you can just add a little bit of salt to your water, and you get the minerals from, and I'm talking about Himalayan salt or sea salt that has some of the minerals that are put back into the water, right?
Yes, that's correct. And I would love to get maybe some Dr. Klaper's feedback on this.
Yes.
Because from what I understand and from what I have learned throughout more than a decade in this business is that the minerals that we get from the water, and that's why that I keep stressing that the minerals that we put in for taste only, to make the water taste better than pure water, that the minerals that you get from water, it's such a tiny, minute amount that one glass of orange juice probably will have more minerals than thousands of gallons of mineral water. Because it's yes, so the effect on the body is so small from those minerals that it's not a reliable source of.
Yeah, you can get kind of used to that. You can get to kind of like it's a false sense of security. So we're gonna tune in. You're gonna come back once it's about 2 months away, right?
Sure.
For
Correct.
and we're gonna have you back, and we're gonna talk about your new model. In the meantime, just know that if you want a free unit, you know what you got to do, and hopefully you too will start feeling better and feeling like even thirstier for cleaner water. Thank you so much, Eric, and Puricom USA for the donation and your generosity. And I'm looking forward to hearing the feedback from everybody who gets a free unit.
Yes, thank you for having us on. I really appreciate it. It's been a wonderful experience working with you and being on air as well.
Yes. Oh, this is the first of many. We're looking forward to doing this again, right?
Yes, that would be great.
Perfect. So get your calls in. Make sure your emails, your texts, go for it. If this is what you want, show me that you want it. Let's see what happens. Thank you so much, Eric, for being a part of the show. Puricom USA. I want to encourage you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. Click on it. Get your own filtration system. If you don't want to wait till you find out whether or not you're the 20th caller or texter or not. But I'm telling you, I love it. And it's nice that you don't have to install it. You just put it on your counter like a coffee maker, put the water in, and the miracle happens. Thank you so much for caring, Eric. I could tell. I love your story. And I love the fact that you're paying it forward with clean water from generations to generations. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you soon. And I am going to say goodbye to the stream. Here we go. And I'm going to say goodbye to those of you on YouTube.